Bite Beauty released some new products and today we're going to be reviewing them. I'm so excited about this. These are Bite Beauty's first makeup items besides their lip products. They did also release a new lip crayon I picked up, but let's go ahead and start with the primer. I do have two versions of this primer, one that's hydrating and one that is mattifying. I picked up the mattifying one. So these are marketed to neutralize your skin before you go in with foundation. I got the mattifying one because I am oily. I'm combo oily. Retails for $38 and it has willow bark to neutralize without stripping the skin. The packaging I do really like. I like squeeze tubes because you can get whatever amount you want out of it. So here's the texture. It's just like a lotiony type of cream. I'm gonna focus this only where I get oily just because I don't want to put it all over my face, just in case it is a little bit drying. The texture is really nice on this. It feels silky and lotiony, but it doesn't feel tacky or sticky like a lot of mattifying primers can be. So I just went ahead and put that in my T-zone, and it doesn't look like super matte. It just looks smooth and it feels really nice. So far I like the consistency. Like I mentioned, not really sticky or tacky. And next, the foundation. I'm going to be doing a wear test as well, so you guys will see how well this performs. So funny story about this foundation is I ordered this stuff online and it just arrived yesterday. I paid for Sephora 2-day shipping and it took 4 days, whatever. Yeah, they sent me a totally different shade than what I ordered. It was a really deep shade, I could not make it work. I had to go in store yesterday and thankfully they did have this in store, so I was able to get the shade that I actually ordered, which is the shade L40, which is light with neutral undertones. This foundation claims to be natural, has medium coverage, comes in 32 shades, and retails for $39.50. Pretty standard foundation price range. This is called their Supercharged Micellar Foundation, and it's supposed to say the micellar technology mimics your skin texture. So it's supposed to be like a really natural looking foundation. Just gonna start with about a little dollop on my hand, and I think we're gonna start with a brush. This is clean. The bristles are just actually that color. And I'm going to start on the left side of my face using the brush. Just gonna dot it. Should I zoom you guys in a little bit more? Yeah, let's do that. And I'm just taking that buffing brush and I'm going to press it into my skin. Obviously this isn't like my natural skin tone color, but it is my self-tan shade. Yeah, this does have a very light scent. It's pretty fruity, but you can't really smell it that much on your face. You really have to smell it on your hand. But just beware if you like stuff fragrance free. This does have just a tad bit of a fragrance to it. So far that looks so pretty. You can definitely tell it has a natural finish to it. I actually really like it with a brush. I feel like most foundations I don't. I'd say about a good medium coverage so far. I'm going to do this side of my face. You can tell it covered my redness really well. This side I'm going to use a sponge, Real Technique sponge. I'd say the consistency of this foundation is, it's like in between texture. It's not super runny, but it's not like a super thick foundation either. Okay, yeah, you can definitely tell with the sponge you're going to get a lot less coverage out of it. I'm just gonna go over this side with a sponge to even it out. Here's one layer. I did use all the product on the back of my hand, so I wouldn't say it's one of those foundations where a little bit goes a long way. Kind of just used a normal amount for my whole face. Sponge is going to give you a lot less coverage, so I think I'm going to do the rest of my face with another layer using a brush, and then at the end just press it in with a sponge for a nicer finish. It looks so pretty so far finish wise. Almost reminds me of the Ilia foundation, but with more coverage and less of a sheen to it. It just has that really skin-like finish. It's really pretty so far, guys. It's not clinging to texture, dry patches. I do have a couple bumps going on, some couple pimpies. So far I'm feeling good about this. Here's 2 layers. It did take me 2 pumps worth of foundation to get to this point. It's still not full coverage. I would say it's more of a very buildable medium coverage with a sponge. I feel like it's more on that light medium side, but it does have a good amount of coverage. I would just have to go in and sort of spot conceal, but I just love the finish of this. I will zoom you guys in even more just so you can see how nice it's looking on the skin. So you can see when I move my face, it just has that little bit of sheen to it, so it mimics your skin's natural texture. Yeah, so far I like it. Alright, definitely gotta do something about these dark circles. I'm using the Cover FX Power Play. just because I really am familiar with how this performs on me. So I know it won't interfere with the foundation too much. I'm not gonna go too crazy. I'm trying to keep it close to my eyes. I'm actually gonna go in and spot conceal just because that's how I would wear any of my other foundations if I had spots going on. And I feel like this just didn't give me the total coverage that I wanted, but that's totally okay because I feel like it just looks more natural if you do spot concealing. I do have the powder from them, but I'm not going to use that to set my under eyes because I'm just so specific and picky about under eye setting powders. I'm going to use this little Derma Blend loose setting powder. Okay, and the last product I have here is the Bite Game Changer setting powder, which is $36, talc free. I think that's really cool because I know a lot of you guys prefer to avoid talc. And then here's the packaging, just like a basic little compact. And then you get the powder, and I got the shade Light 2. I'm a little scared to use this powder, honestly, because I put it on my foundation last night just to try it, and it seemed like it was like, it looks so light in the pan, but on the face, it seemed dark for some reason. I guess I kind of have to, though. I'm taking a big, fluffy, this is a Luxie 518 large powder. I'm gonna start with just a little bit of this, just in case it is too dark. Just to set the rest of my face. Okay, that actually looks fine so far. Maybe I just used a little bit too much. I prefer a pressed powder with some pigment in it to set my foundation, just because I usually like to add extra coverage. So I think this was, it looks pretty good. It did definitely mattify, but it doesn't look super dry. And it did add a tiny bit of coverage. It's a very sheer coverage though. It does say build coverage on this, so that makes sense. If you were to apply more, I think you'd get a little bit more coverage out of it. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the face. I'm gonna use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Nude Bronze Light Bronzer, which is such a pretty bronzer. It's really natural looking too because it has a tiny bit of sheen to it, but it's not shimmery. So again, it kind of like looks like skin, which is why I thought it'd be nice for this look. So far, I think all the products work together really well. Like the foundation worked well with the primer, and the powder worked well over the foundation, and these powders are going over everything fine. I do want to do a little bit of a light contour with the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. Alright, and then for a little bit of highlight, I'm using the Bare Minerals. This is the Zen Endless Glow Highlighter. And then lastly, for blush, I'm using the Tower 28. This is the Beach Please Magic Hour Buildable Luminous Color for lips and cheeks. Just got these. Really enjoying them so far. Alright, here's our look. I tried to go for like a natural look so I could just really pay attention to the foundation when I'm checking in throughout the day. I will keep in mind that I have a cream blush on in terms of like how that area looks and oiliness. But everything looks really, really nice so far. I'm going to finish my bottom lash line and... oh, I forgot about the lip crayon. Before I do that, I do have a lip crayon here. This is their new Power Move Creamy Matte Lip Crayon, which, you know, they sort of like discontinued all their other lipsticks because they're coming out with new formulas. So this is one of the new ones. I got the shade Glace, Glace, which is a really gorgeous, more mauve toned shade, which I thought would be really nice. I did buy this one in store because I wanted to swatch them. And I think I'm going to use some lip liner before I do this. These are super creamy when you put them on. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of like crayons. I kind of wish it was just like a lipstick tube. But you can get really precise on the edges, which is nice. And those are $24, I believe. These are called matte, but I feel like they're more of just like a satiny finish. Like they are more on the matte side, but they're sort of like the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever their lipstick is called, where it's matte, but it's like moisturizing feeling and not like super flat matte like a liquid lipstick would be. Super comfortable on the lips. I think these would be perfect to like take on the go and just throw it in your bag. I really like the shade, little like purple vibe going on. So I'm gonna finish up my eyes and then I'll show you guys like a natural light what this looks like. All right, I'm back. I feel like a whole different person with lower lash line makeup on. The time is now at 10:48, so we'll call it 11. I will wear this until the very end of the day. I actually am leaving the house today, surprisingly, so I'll be out and about. So I'll really put this foundation to the test. So far, I really love how it looks on the skin. I can't emphasize how natural it looks. It's definitely not full coverage. You can see some of my scarring still, but I'm totally fine with that for every day. And I love how it doesn't accentuate my texture. That's one of my biggest issues. I have a lot of texture sort of on these lower parts of my cheeks and then all of my acne scarring. So it's sitting really nicely. Same with the forehead. It just looks really nice and natural. Even with that powder, I think it really feels weightless on the skin as well. I can't really tell that I'm wearing makeup with the powder. It's not really tacky or anything. I brought you guys to a window so you can see what it looks like in sort of natural light. The sun keeps going away, but here's what it looks like. I think it looks really pretty on the skin. Let me zoom in a little bit more. I think it looks really pretty and soft and natural on the skin. The one thing I feel like I'm noticing about this range is it's very natural. So like perfect for everyday wear. It just looks like skin. It feels very weightless. It does remind me a little bit of the Ilia foundation where it just looks so beautiful and skin-like. Like you can barely tell you're wearing makeup. I did do 2 layers so it's a little bit more evident, but yeah, okay, that's not flattering. Alright guys, I'm back for my final check-in. It is now 8:55, so it's been on for around 9 hours at this point. And I was out and about all day, going for walks, doing a lot of different things. And wow, I am so impressed by the wear of this. It wore way better than I thought it was. Let me zoom in a little bit more just so you can see how it's looking. Turn the ring light down so hopefully you guys can see like a little bit more detail. But I don't know if it's the mattifying primer or just all the products together. I definitely didn't get as oily as I usually do in my T-zone. You can tell like I still have a little bit of oil there, but it's nothing too bad. And I usually get super cakey in this area and it looks really nice. It is starting to get a little cakey looking, but nothing too bad. I barely got any smile lines and it just like nothing smudged, nothing came off. Was wearing a hat today and you can see like it a little bit wore off my forehead, but really not that bad. There's a little bit off on my nose, but like it wore so good. I have lipstick on my chin too. I usually have like trouble in this area with it looking cakey and dry and breaking up just because I have a lot of texture around here. And it looks so good at this point. I'm really impressed with how this wore. Overall, I'm really impressed with how it wore. I like the mattifying primer. I'll have to try that primer with different foundations and see if it's actually mattifying because I did notice like I got less oily, but I'm not sure if it was the powder or the primer or both with the foundation. So I'll have to do some experimenting, but I would definitely recommend the foundation. If you guys want something that's long wearing and high performing, I really like how they lived up to the claims of it being clean and high performing because I feel like there's just so many clean foundations that do not wear well. Like you can't wear for more than a couple hours. They just end up looking so bad on the skin. But super long wear if you need a foundation for long work days or you just want your foundation to look good all day. Also say when I saw it like in daylight, it looked so skin-like. It really does remind me of how the True Skin Serum Foundation looks on the skin, like totally like your skin. It does have more coverage than that though, which is honestly like my dream foundation, like Ilia True Skin, but with a little bit more coverage, just like this foundation has. I'm definitely going to keep using this. I think it's going to be like one of my everyday go-to foundations. I'll have to use it in some future tutorials as well, but overall, giving this line a big thumbs up. Alright guys, that was it for my review on the new Bite Beauty Game Changer products. So excited about this launch. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I always point to the wrong area, but it's somewhere on the lower region here. Like this video if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.